Hey y'all, welcome to Moments with Misi. If you are new here, if you have been rocking with me for a while, welcome back. Today we are jumping into day 32 of our 1 year Bible reading challenge. If you are seeing my videos for the first time, the description box has all the information that you need to see how to access the Bible app as well as the 365-day chronological Bible reading plan that we are using. God will meet you wherever you are. If you are just jumping in reading the Bible for the first time, if you are starting on day 32 with me, if you are starting on day 1, you can use my videos for accountability, but just start so that God can begin to grow you in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through His Word. And if you strayed away and now you're running back to your Father, just start and God will begin to give you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding for yourself. Let's jump right in. And the scriptures today came from Exodus chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, verses 1 through 17, and First Chronicles chapter 6, verses 1 through 3. I did not have a standout today. There was so much goodness in the word. Everything was really standing out to me. But I did not have a specific standout. I do have a takeaway. That takeaway is based on today's reading. God is saying to me, God keeps His promises. God protects His own. He goes before us and He has every detail worked out. So with God keeping His promises, today in the scripture we saw where God came to Moses. We were introduced to Moses, and He let him know, hey, I've heard the cries of my people, the Israelites. I know that they are in bondage right now and they are suffering by the hands of Pharaoh. I need the Egyptians to let them go, and I'm sending you to do that. So in the promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that He would make His people a great nation and that He will allow them to enter into this land that He has prepared for them, the Israelites grew in a multitude in Egypt to the point where Pharaoh, at that time, he was in fear that the Israelites would take over and outdo them. So he enslaved the Israelites. And at the time, this Pharaoh, which this was something I learned today, I thought Pharaoh was the name of like just Pharaoh himself in this story. But as we learned before, there was a Pharaoh during Jacob's reign. When Joseph went to Egypt and his father Jacob came, there was a Pharaoh then. So I learned today that Pharaoh is just the name representing a ruler during those times in Egypt. So Pharaoh is not one individual person. Pharaoh is a ruler over people. So for those of you that did not know that, we learned that together. So this particular Pharaoh, during the time that Moses is being introduced to us, he did not have any type of connection with Joseph. So everything that Joseph had done for the previous Pharaoh, that did not matter to this Pharaoh because he had no type of liking or connection with Joseph. So in honoring the Israelites and Joseph's people, it was none of that. So they enslaved the Israelites. They're crying out to God, but God kept His promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Joseph. He's like, I hear my people. They're crying out and suffering. I'm concerned. I need to get them out of there, and I need to get them to this land that I promised them, because I'm remembering what I told Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God protects His own. So the Israelites are God's people, His chosen people. He's going to go to bat now to free them from them being enslaved. And He's going to go above and beyond to have them go into that land that He promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that their people would have. And as well as with Moses, as he was a baby at this time, they were killing off all the firstborn males. And when Moses was born, his mother, in fear, put him in a basket and set him off into the Nile. And he was picked up by Pharaoh's daughter. And during that time, the sister was off watching, And when Pharaoh's daughter picked him up, it was like, oh, this is a Hebrew boy. She ran over and was like, you want me to find a Hebrew mother to nurse him? And she was like, yeah. She went and got her mother, her and Moses' mother, to nurse him. So here it was, God had it ordained in protection for him, that even though the mother was in fear and putting him off to the wayside, he was able to bring Moses back together with his mother, and not just for her to nurse him, but also, when we talked about in my previous video, paying for purpose and being paid for your pain. Pharaoh's daughter paid her to nurse Moses, not knowing that she is his biological mother. She paid her to do exactly what she was created to do, and what he was born into her to do was to be his mom. And once he got of age, then she took him to Pharaoh's daughters so that he could be raised, and Pharaoh's daughter actually named him Moses. But God protects his own. So Moses is a part of the lineage of the Israelites of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. His grandfather was Levi, and Levi was a son of Jacob. So him being a part of that lineage, God had to protect him. And not only that, he was called by God for a specific purpose. God was going to use him to release the Israelites from Egypt, to get them up out of there, to save them. So he was already protected before he was even born. And that God goes before us. When the Israelites were in their space of crying out to God, God has already gone before them and predestined someone to go on their behalf to help relieve them and to save them. Him going before Moses when he was just a baby, a seed in his mother's womb, and predestining, ordering, and orchestrating those moments to happen where his sister would see Pharaoh's daughter go get his mom, have his mom come back to actually nurse him. All of that was orchestrated. And God going before us and having every detail worked out. When he called Moses, Moses was concerned about the Israelites not believing him and not really taking in the fact that God was sending him to help them. So God gave him signs to show them, hey, God is really sending me. He gave him the ability to turn his stick into a snake and then take it from a snake and turn it back into a stick. He gave him the ability to show healing powers by touching the inside of his cloak and turning his skin into leprosy and then healing that in the moment. Then he gave him a third sign to turn the Nile water into blood. So he already had these details worked out before Moses even came to him and questioning, well, Lord, what do I do if they don't believe me that you have sent me? What do I do if they still don't believe me after I done told them that you are the great I am? So God already had that orchestrated. And even when Moses was doubting, like, God, I'm not eloquent in speech, how I'm going to do this, he's angry at him, but he's like, okay, your brother Aaron coming. Aaron gonna talk for you. It's gonna be like he your mouthpiece. Like, you, God, speaking through him, and it's gonna be me speaking through you through him. So God already had everything worked out. There was nothing that God didn't know that was gonna come about. There was nothing that God already didn't have a plan for. So that is all to tie up and say that God keeps his promises no matter what. Even if you feel like he's not hearing your cries, the word says that the cries of the righteous are heard. God hears your cries and he will answer. God protects his own. We are children of God. If you are a child of God, if you are under his wing, he protects you. He made a promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Israelites were his own. They were under his wing, and he is going to protect them at all costs. He goes before us. God will make sure that anything that needs to be set up for you, no matter what it is that you're going into, no matter the provision that you might need, God is going to make a way, and he's going to go before you and do that. And he has every detail worked out. There's nothing that you could bring to your mind to question that could happen, the possibilities. God's already going to have it worked out, no matter what it is. But that is my takeaways for today. The scriptures were just fully packed and loaded. It was so much to take in, but so much goodness. I would like to hear your thoughts from today's scriptures. Comment down in the comment section below. What was your favorite part from the readings today? Or what was something that you learned? And until the next video for day 33, I hope you all will be blessed. Peace and love.